everybody, Nellie Mac with Sapphire Star Codes here, and this is just going to be a little, I guess, talk that I'm going to do. I don't normally make these kind of videos, but I'm going to call this video Lightworkers, Are You a Hybrid? And I am kind of dedicating this little chat to my Reiki Master, Laura Dwyer, because she's going through a lot right now, and she's an amazing person, and I feel like this message kind of came through for her, but it also put some pieces together for me, and so I know that it will help other people. So those of you who do know me, you might be surprised to know that I love zombie videos. I don't know why, I hate scary things, I hate scary videos, but I am absolutely just drawn to like zombie series and things like that, and I never really understood why. And then, you know, I'm even like the Netflix series Van Helsing. Like, I was just totally into that. Like, I loved it. And I was actually like, I had a dream last night from Spirit, and as I woke up, it was like all flooding through. So even if you're not into zombies and vampires and all of that, please just bear with me for a couple minutes as I just talk through what this message is, so we can get to the main point. Because I know that light workers everywhere are going through a lot of hard times. They're feeling really pushed. They're feeling really like everything is closing in on them. And then what I would need you guys to remember is that you're here for a reason. You're important, and you've totally got this. So I just want to give you some different ways to think about some things. So generally in like, you know, a zombie, like I watched Z Nation. I loved it. And it was all about a guy who had been given a vaccine against the zombie apocalypse, and it made him, you know, he was immune to it. And so then he became known as kind of a messiah, and he was going around biting people or using his blood to make a vaccine and making what they called hybrids. Now these, you know, and it's the same thing like in the Van Helsing. It's all about a vampire apocalypse, but there is a bloodline of Van Helsings who have the blood of the Dark Lord inside their body, and they can go around and they can bite the vampires and they can turn them back to humans, and then none of the other vampires ever want to bite them because their blood just tastes bad to them, right? And so these people, and the same thing in Z Nation, like the whole point of this was so that people could walk around without fear anymore. You were a hybrid, you could walk the day, you could walk the night, and you weren't afraid. So you actually were really empowered. And so then I had this dream, and in my dream, like I was flashing through different time periods in history, and some very old ones, but still where there was like a lot of civilization and everything. And I remember in the first one, the whole towns of people were just being turned into like vampires or zombies. No, I'm pretty sure they were vampires. So we're just like watching this whole thing happen, and it was like we knew that someone was like that was getting ready to turn bad wherever we were. So I actually ran with, I think that in this dream life there was two of my kids, but they were like older, and we ran into a telephone booth, and it locked, and so we locked ourselves inside, and so we're standing there watching this horror happen around us. And then I just got this idea, well, I'm just gonna like act dead and maybe they won't see me. So there I was, but I could tell like there was this one, he just kept watching me and he just kept staring at me, and then I heard them say, why is there one in there who's not dead? And I got to thinking about that, and I thought, well, I had two of my like grown children with me, and they weren't even mentioning them. And so flash forward to another time, and this was I think like during like the time when there was slavery rampant in America. And I remember locking myself, like me and my husband, in a room, like a bedroom, because our son was, you know, he was infected, and he was crawling through, and he was getting in there, and as like my husband in this life was trying to keep him away, I got out and I just ran, and no clue what was happening to the people that I loved. And I go on, and it's more of like a present day time, and there's like this huge highway, and all of these semis and cars are going, and I was with a group of people. I think it was like my husband and actually some of my kids that I have now in this life. And we were looking around, and it was almost nighttime, and we decided we were going to go check out a restaurant. So we went to this restaurant. It was just closing, and we knocked on the window, you know, like, let us in, and they let us in. And the people there had a really good idea. Like, they worked there, but at nighttime they had like all these industrial locks, and so they just locked themselves in the building, and they were safe. So we feel pretty safe, and we're going on with our lives. And then all of a sudden, somehow or another, you know, like, these infected people know we're in there. So we're like, well, is there a basement? So this person that worked there is leading us down to this basement. And there was like, they were ahead of me, and like the couple people I was with, and they went a different way than I thought they did. And so I ended up in this very huge, deep basement. It was very old and ancient and primordial, like with volcanic rock everywhere. And you just descended lower and lower. And I kept looking around for the rest of my family, and I couldn't find them. And I'm like, well, there must be 2 huge chasms here, right? And so I was like trying to look and see if my family was there. They weren't. And so we started to go back up, like we were ascending back up out of this huge chasm. And as we were going up, everything just started pushing in on us. All the rocks started moving, like you see these asteroids in space, and it's just pushing in on us. And then as you were trying to squeeze through, they would just like squish you, and the rocks were like falling apart. And it was like the rocks were showing the other people. It was like my past lives, these people who had been trying to come back up out of this and had died there. And they weren't like skeletons. I could literally see the form of the person. And just ever farther and farther up. And finally, at some point, we made it out. But I just like, I was laying there after I woke up, and I was like, well, what is this all about? And so it made me think of a lot when I have panic attacks. Now, this is a normal occurrence for light workers, and it happens when life on this planet becomes way too much for us. So when we are not here, we're in the stars or wherever we're at to learn our lessons, and we enjoy instant manifestation, instant healing. Everything is instantaneous. It's just like, boom, it's there for us. Like, we're powerful, we're in our full power and everything, and then we come here and it feels so small, and we feel like everything is closing in on us. So the things that, you know, that we're dealing with as light workers are the system that's keeping people poor, the system that's overworking people, the system that from the time we were born told us who we should worship, how we should worship, who we should love, how we should love, that we have family and we have to stay connected to them no matter what, that we have to bow to the wishes and wants of everybody else except take care of ourselves. And so this is what we're up against here as we're walking this planet trying to make a difference. And we all have a very important reason to be here. We have a very bright future. We have a destiny, we have a purpose, but we kind of lose sight of that sometimes. And so what I want you to realize is that we can become adaptability. We can be adaptive. We can move into adaptability. We can become day walkers and night walkers. So just like in these these zombies and vampire movies where they're bit, right? Like, so from the very beginning of our lives, we're bit. We're, like I said, told how, when, why, and where, and all of that, and we're put in a box. And we've become infected with 3D living. But as we wake up to the light within us, as we start moving forward and seeing how amazing, how divine and awesome that we are, and we start shining our light, we start healing ourselves. We meet people on our path who are there to help us heal and to learn how to heal. And we just keep moving forward, right? And we keep shining and shining. And at times, it's just scary. Like, we're trying to traverse the nighttime here in like a zombie epidemic, but we're light workers, and we're here, and we're full of light, and we have so much to do, and we feel like we're not getting anywhere. We're just getting beat down all the time. But no one is going to come to save you. You are here to save yourself. And how do we do that? We do that by being the one who becomes the night walker and the day walker. We shine our light so bright that nothing at night scares us. We remove ourselves from that system that says this is who you have to love, this is how you have to love, this is who you have to serve, this is how you have to live. And we start writing our own destiny, just as we are meant to do as 5D creatures. We do our manifestations, we write out our destiny and we burn it, or we tuck it away, and we start speaking these things that are truth, like I am beautiful, I am loved, I can do anything. You know, just getting your manifestations out there and living authentically in those and rewriting your destiny, because that is what we are meant to do here. Each of us is important. Each of us has that ability to be our own savior, to shine our light so bright that we become hybrids and we don't fear walking in the day or the night. And so I just want you to remember that you have that ability, you have that courage, you have that divine spark that allows you to do this. And if you feel like giving up, I just want you to remember that right before a huge breakthrough, it's always the hardest. There's always a bigger storm, and then you get through it and you up level, and then guess what? You're on cloud 9 for a little bit, but then, you know, Spirit's like, no, you can't settle here. Like, there's so much more for you to do. There's so many more places for you to go, and I need you to just commit to putting both feet forward, both feet firmly on Gaia, and transmute for Gaia, and start just getting rid of all of that shit and all of that stuff from the system, and you being the person that it makes everything in the world become better and affects change. So I hope I remembered everything that came through to me. I was really trying to, but I just want to encourage you all just to, today, just to commit to putting both feet onto Gaia and going forward and being there for the ascension process and all of the changes that are coming, because we all need you and you are very loved.